Good afternoon, everybody. Let's make a few adjustments here. Yeah, nice. Love it. Welcome, everybody. This is episode 62 of TheNonner. I am your host, David Bradley, coming to you live every single Monday through Friday, Pacific Standard Time, 12 o'clock noon. I'm bringing you Noontime Nuggets about sales, business, and life. How was everybody's weekend? Good? I had a very nice weekend. I had a family in town, great dinner on Friday, good lunch yesterday. So yeah, very good. Thank you very much. Appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate the favors and the restreams in advance. Welcome. So again, episode 62 of TheNonner, how to handle rejection in sales, business, and or life. Rejection is something that we all get to deal with. It's going to happen. It's coming no matter what you do about it. Might as well prepare for it and use it. Otherwise, what? It's going to wind up using you. Okay, so let me introduce myself to you guys. My name is David Bradley. I'm a sales and marketing manager with Grant Cardone. I've been doing that just almost 5 years now. Been with Grant since March of 2011. Been studying his content since January, or actually not January, since 2003. I think that was more like August of January, or actually not January, since 2003. I think that was more like August of 2003. Or September, if I'm not mistaken. But Grant's content, Grant's material, Grant's training took me from barely surviving in sales to thriving in it. So as soon as I got an opportunity to share that with other people, I was all in. And I started that journey in March of 2011. What do we do in our company? Cardone Training Technologies. We help people increase production, usually to the tune of 15 to 30%, simply by helping find and then handle missed opportunities. So if you take a look at what your reality is and look at where your potential is, we're going to help you bridge that gap. So missed opportunity is the number one reason we miss out on deals. Hey, Marco Bernini just showed up. Thanks for being here, Marco. When are you going to get a profile pic? I miss not being able to see your handsome mug. I'm not even following you, dude. Is this a different profile for you? Okay, so anywho, a couple different things about me. In addition to being a sales and marketing manager with Grant Cardone and helping businesses increase production, I am the author of a book called How to Stop Smoking Without Killing Anyone. Smoked the cigarettes for about 15 years, couldn't quit to save my life, but I found a way to stop. And so I wrote a book on how I did that and how anyone can do the same. StopDon'tQuit.com is the URL for that if you want to get more information on that. Third thing on my deal is I'm the founder of a hashtag called Rich Man's Gym. This is about home-based strength and conditioning for body, mind, and spirit. I don't believe you got to go to a cookie-cutter gym to get in the best shape of your life. You can do that right from the comfort of your own home, local park, and that will be a book. That's my next project. So if you search that hashtag, you can get some really cool information. So what we're talking about today is, let me see what kind of action's going up on the Twitter. How to deal with rejection, how to handle it, what to do with it. It's coming, right? You get it all the time. Marco says, must be a login under my other handle. Yeah, man. I don't know. I just didn't see there's no profile pic showing up, but no worries. So let's talk about this for a second. Rejection. Do you get it? Has it happened? Is it something that you don't really like? Does anybody? Does it feel good? Nah, not really. So a lot of times when it comes to anything, especially something that we want or have a very unique interest in, the fear of rejection will keep us from moving towards it. I believe that the fear of rejection will impact all three areas. So the Nooner, it's about Noontime Nuggets, about sales, business, and life. And the fear of rejection will impact you if you're in sales, if you're in business, and in life. The fear of rejection is what keeps that guy from walking across the dance floor and asking that pretty girl to dance. So rejection, though, is something that if you use it, can slingshot you or catapult you to a completely different level. Or it can use you, hold you back, and prevent you from accomplishing what you want. So I like the term slingshot because if you think about it, you're here, right? So rejection allows you, you're getting pulled back. Does that make sense? But if you're pulled back, you can either launch into this deal or you just stay here, okay? So I want to look at some people who have experienced rejection and slingshotted. As a result, the first person I want to talk about is my guy Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld was fired after a poor performance on his very minor role on the sitcom Benson. Apparently, no one told him he'd been fired, and he only found out about it when he showed up for a read-through and discovered his part was missing from the script. Ow. Ow. Ow, man, that hurts. That hurts me. Can you imagine that? Like you're a struggling actor, you're about to get, you're trying to get known in the business. You land a part on a sitcom, which was a pretty popular sitcom. You land the part, right? You roll in to do the read through, and you realize you're not in the script, and you're like, oh, I got blown out. Man, that hurts. Ah, damn. Okay, so, but what did Jerry Seinfeld do? Okay, what was he? I mean, he may still be. I don't know, but I mean, the dude made a bunch of money doing what? Making people laugh. Seinfeld's still to this day my favorite show. My favorite show. Got a couple other people have popped in, so I want to give a couple shout outs. Jose Garza, appreciate you being here. Adrian Harling, thank you for being here. Guys, we're talking about how to handle rejection. And what I'm doing right now is I'm looking at some people that have accomplished some major things that dealt with rejection early on in their career, because rejection can be used as a slingshot to launch you forward. So Jerry Seinfeld went through it. Elvis. My man. Elvis Presley. After a performance at Nashville's Grand Ole Opry, Elvis was told by the concert hall manager that he was better off returning to Memphis and driving trucks. Thanks for the restream, Jose. So imagine, like, you're Elvis, you're just trying to get started. You book this gig at the Grand Ole Opry, which is not, that's a big gig. That's a big venue, right? And the manager's like, you should probably go back to driving trucks. Well, I mean, what is that in the entertainment industry? What's that basically saying? Don't quit your day job, brother. Right? What did Elvis do? Slingshotted that bad boy, right? Okay. Who else? Abraham Lincoln. This is cool. So when Lincoln was younger and entered war, he entered as a captain. Or he entered the military. He entered as a captain, but he came back as a private. He entered as a captain, but came back as a private. Did you know that? This is Abraham Lincoln. What an impact has this man had on not only the United States of America, but global. He had a global impact, okay? But when he got started, he goes into in the military. He gets in as a captain. By the time he leaves, he's a private. That's hard. That hurts. Okay. Later on, he tried to start up several businesses, all of which failed. And then he gets into politics. He did not start politics and immediately succeed in that either. He lost multiple elections before getting to a place, and he barely won the presidency. Barely. I mean, skin of his teeth. Okay? But what happened? And he experienced rejection and tragedy throughout the war. And every time, if you go back and you study, you read his biography, every time something horrible happened, he used it as a method to advance his cause. And a noble one it was. Wouldn't you agree? Okay? Who else? Steven Spielberg. This is ironic because Spielberg was rejected from USC 3 times. He applied to the theater and film school, USC, 3 times and was turned down all 3 times. He went to a different school that he then dropped out of to pursue directing. And in 2002, he finally went back and finished. Steven Spielberg. Okay. So we got Jerry Seinfeld, we got Elvis, we've got Abraham Lincoln, and we got Steven Spielberg. All four of these people used rejection to slingshot themselves into a bigger career. Okay, so look, the bottom line, the point that we're making today on the Nooner is that rejection is going to happen to you no matter what you do. Doesn't matter if you're in a traditional sales role, if you have a business, or you are just alive. You will get rejection. So, anytime you ask for something, there's a chance you're going to hear no. Right? When have you heard that? And the real question, though, is not when have you heard it, because we all know you've heard it, but when have you allowed it to stop you? But there's also a flip side to that, because if you think back, if you look at your own history, there's been times where you've used rejection as a way to push you to another level. Right? Where the rejection literally forced you to take action. So, if you look at somebody like, failure's coming. Babe Ruth was the home run king and the strikeout king at the same time. Michael Jordan lost more games in the last 6 seconds than he won. But what are these guys known for? So, the secret to handling this rejection thing is, it's really what you do with it, or it's what you do about it that matters. So, as I mentioned earlier, my boss, Grant Cardone, as you know, he's got a few tips that you can use to not only handle rejection, but then to actually take the rejection and use it so that, I love this motion, it slingshots you to something entirely different. I've got these 4 tips. We're going to talk about the 4th one with some extensiveness. What are you guys hearing so far that you like? Is this making sense, Jose Garza? Right? You said for sure. Okay. Think about, if you guys want to do an exercise, whether that's now or after the Nooner, is literally write down 2 times where you encountered rejection. One time where the rejection stopped you, where it interfered in your ability to go forward, and then another time where it motivated you and did slingshot you forward. And then once you've got those 2 memories down, then look at, hey, what happened in the first one versus the second one? What was it that motivated me versus kept me back? Okay? So when you get rejected, here's 4 strategies you can employ from my boss, Grant Cardone. Okay? Number 1, know that you are the only one who can heal yourself. Okay. Now, what I think he means by that is that rejection hurts, sucks, nobody likes it. The only person that's going to make you feel better, or the only thing, is you. And it's in the decision you make about what you're going to do with this new energy. You can't drink this thing away. You can't pop a pill. Okay. You can't hide from it. Ultimately, you got to confront it. Okay. So, and that leads to number 2. Time is not the healer. The longer you take to get over that, the less you can produce. So look at this as sales, business, and life. Okay? In sales. Let's say you're making cold calls. Or let's say you've got a retail establishment. People are coming in. Nobody's buying. They're coming in, but they're not buying. Okay? Rejection, rejection, rejection. Just looking. Not interested, not interested, not interested. If you need 30 minutes to recoup from the first not interested before you go, or just looking, before you go to the next one, you're just limiting yourself. Somebody just popped in. I want to say hi. Nathan Holmes. Nathan Holmes is here, guys. Thank you, Nathan. Appreciate you being here. Welcome. We're talking about how to handle rejection, Nathan. I've got 2 tips so far. The first one is that you are the only one that can handle your rejection. The second one is time is not the healer. So when you get turned down, when you get rejected, when you get the boot, you get the broom, the faster you can move through that, the better off you're going to be. the more you can produce. The faster you can move through it, the more you can produce. The longer it takes you to heal, the less you can produce. Make sense? Third thing, get over it. Grow up. This is what Grant says. He says, knock it off. You just can't sit there and say, woe is me. You can't. In fact, we got wristbands all about that. Okay? The more action you take, the less it hurts. And that leads to the fourth thing. And the most important, if you ask me. Replace lost opportunity with a new opportunity. Understand this. That pang of rejection, Grant says, is literally you having full recognition that your pipeline's not full enough. I don't have enough people. That's it. How liberating is that for you, though? Think about that for a second. The pang of rejection is literally the pang of you knowing, I don't have enough people in my pipeline. That applies to sales, it applies to business, and it applies to life. Okay? If you're in a room, if you're the last man on earth, you got a full pipeline. If you're the last woman on earth, you got a full pipeline. Okay? If you're the only company that sells widgets, you got a full pipeline. Okay? This is not reality, though. The full pipeline comes from you, and you got to be doing things every single day to load that pipeline up so it's so full, it's so chock-a-block that when the rejection comes, it's actually a relief. And that is what we talk about in Sell or Be Sold in the Massive Action section. So much so that Grant went and wrote a whole book about it called If You're Not First, You're Last. That book is about prospecting more than it is about anything else. Okay? So if you haven't read these books I'm talking about, guys, you got to pick them up. Jose Garza says kaboom. You got to pick these books up. You got to read them. Because your ability to sell, your ability to push yourself in the marketplace, your ability to close a transaction, your ability to get known and then take large amounts of action is the exact thing that you need to make sure that you don't experience rejection and that when you do, it's actually a relief. How'd that be? The rejection's not about the person in front of you, guys. It's about you. It's about me. It's the cold, harsh reality that the pipeline's just not as full as you need it to be. Okay? So, but the beauty of that is that is in itself empowering. Because you can always fill up your pipeline. This has been episode 62 of The Nooner. I am your host, David Bradley. Thank you guys for hanging out with me this afternoon. If you miss one of these, if you're coming in late, rebroadcasts are always up on YouTube. If you go to youtube.com/Cardone Solutions, there's a playlist over there called The Nooner where I'm putting these up every single weekday, Monday through Friday. I'm coming in 12 o'clock noon Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be dropping Noontime Nuggets about sales, business, and life. Later on this week, I'm having a special guest. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys mañana. Be great. Be greatness.